Tonight on Scamwise. Is your business being bombarded with calls from the meter registration department? Are you being bombarded with calls claiming your business is on emergency rates? Tonight we look at who the meter registration department really are. We uncover the shocking tactics used to pressurize business owners into revealing their gas and electricity meter serial numbers. We also hear how businesses are misled into contracts with energy company BES by brokers giving falsehoods about other suppliers. Welcome to Scamwise. Good evening and a warm welcome. I'm Laura. If you've just moved into a new shop or premises, you may be receiving huge numbers of calls from meter registrations or Energy Search claiming your premises is on emergency rates for gas and electricity. In almost all cases they push for a contract with an energy supplier called BES Utilities. Some businesses have complained to be receiving as many as 30 of these calls per day. Tonight we hear a shocking recording from the meter registration department at Energy Search and expose some of the lies used to trick and bamboozle business owners into 5-year contracts with BES Utilities. Before we play the call, we should advise you that this shop has been for the last 6 weeks in contract with British Gas for both gas and electricity. There is a contract in place and are no emergency rates being charged, no matter what the caller claims. There is also no such thing as a meter registration service nor government department which is responsible for registering the utility meters in a commercial premises. The nature of the call is purely a sales call by Energy Search Ltd, but is that ever clear by the tone of the conversation? You decide?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
Hey there, sir. Can I speak to someone who deals with the electricity?
Yeah, that's me.
Is that yourself, sir?
Yeah.
Hi, sorry, what's your name?
Who's this?
Sorry?
Who's this?
It's, sorry, my name's Glenn. I'm calling from the meter registrations department at Energy Search. It's just regarding the electricity meter down at...
Right.
Is it yourself who deals with the accounts for that premises?
It is, yes.
Right, yeah, we've been informed of a recent change of tenancy down there. Is that correct, sir? Have you recently occupied that building?
Possibly.
Is that correct?
Possibly, yes.
Right, have you managed to get a contract put in place with regards to your electricity down there? Because nothing's showing at the moment, sir. That's why you're getting this phone call today.
What do you mean by nothing's showing?
It's showing that no contract's been put in place, saying that you're on the emergency rate.
Oh, are we? Oh, right.
Just trying to see what the problem is there, sir.
Okay.
Have you managed to get a contract set up at all?
But we're on an emergency rate?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Have you managed to get a contract set up at all, sir?
Not yet, no.
No?
No.
Not for the new premises?
No.
Did you not know that you will run on the emergency rate if there's no contract? Have you not agreed any rates with any supplier?
No, not yet.
No?
I didn't realise there was emergency rates.
Yeah, sir. Like, when you move into a premises, like, automatically you roll over onto the emergency rate.
Right, okay.
Unless you have agreed rates with a supplier. You have to agree the rates, with a supplier of your choice.
Right, okay.
Set up a contract, so you're on the business rates. You're a commercial business. That is correct, isn't it?
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
Yeah, yourself is going to be dealing with the electricity. You've not yet set up anything.
It is, yeah. I'm dealing with it, yeah, I will be, yeah. And sorry,
right,
who come again?
Don't worry. Sorry, I'm calling from the meter registrations department at Energy Search. We work on behalf of all the suppliers on our system. We just get you registered with a contract. It's entirely up to you which supplier you go with. We just give you a list of the cheapest options for yourself.
Okay.
And make sure that you are put on the business rates. Because at the moment you are showing to be running on the out of contract rates, 40% higher.
Right, okay.
But we can get that sorted out for you, sir. So,
when you say it's 40%, when you say it's 40% higher, what do you mean?
Yeah, you run onto what is known as the default tariff.
Right.
Right, your standing charge is much higher. It'd be like something like 80 pence, where really it shouldn't be nothing like that at all, sir.
Okay. Sorry, what was your name again?
Do you understand? My name's Glenn. I'm calling from Energy Search.
Right, okay.
Is it correct? And your post...
Can I just ask how you got our details?
Oh, it's on the national database, sir. We get informed of recent changes in tenancy. Whoever's currently supplying your electricity has passed a number through to the national database, and it comes through to ourselves to make sure that we get you registered, you see.
All right, okay.
Is your postcode...
yeah, that would be the postcode of the shop, yes.
Yeah. Are you not at the shop at the moment, sir? No.
I am, yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Would you be able to go over to your electricity meter for me and grab a serial number? It speeds the process up, you see.
No, I don't want to give you any details yet. I mean, you could be anyone.
Don't worry. Oh, yeah, that's fine, sir, but all we're doing is trying to make sure that you're registered and put on the business rate.
Right, okay. But
if you're not willing to give me the serial, we can still find your meter for you. It's just a lot harder. It just speeds it up, so we can just find out who is supplying you, find out what rates you are on at the moment, and then we can give you your options of what you can do from there.
Well, we
can give you a list of...
Yeah, I do need to get this done. I've been thinking about it, but if you can give me some... do you do like comparison of other tariffs?
Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll give you a list of suppliers, and we're obliged. We have to give you like the cheapest for the start. We'll give you the top cheapest for yourself, and then and from so on. We can do that for you now, sir. If you just give us the serial number, then we can find out who is supplying you at the moment. You don't want to?
I would rather not give out any details of that sort of thing yet. You could just be anyone calling me. But if
not yet. Okay. Well, do you want me to write? For now, sir, what we'll do is a search and find your meter for you. All right, and then when we find your meter, if you can just hold while we find it for you, and then I'll get someone to explain what your options are for you. They can go through. They'll tell you what rates you are on now, what you're currently on.
Can you not give me any comparison of other tariffs if that's what you do?
Yeah, that's what we're going to do, sir. That's what we're going to do. We have to find your meter for you, if you understand.
Okay.
That's why I need your serial, so then we can compare. We can tell you what you are on, and then tell you what you can go with, what supplier you can go with, what contracts there are available for yourself.
Okay.
Do you understand, sir?
Right, okay.
Right, is it okay to grab your serial? It's just quicker so we can get your rates. We can't do anything with your serial. All we can do is find your meter, that's it. We can't start overcharging you. We're not trying to do that, sir.
No,
trying to stop you from getting overcharged.
Okay.
If you understand.
Yeah, I do understand, but I'd rather not give out any details to someone who's just phoned up who I don't know.
Yeah, right, that's fair. That's fair enough, sir. But what we're going to do now is try and find your meter for you.
Okay.
We've got your postcode. We'll try and find it for you. It's okay to put you on hold, and then I'll get my line manager, and he'll explain what you can do from there.
Right, okay.
All right, he'll tell you what rates you're on now.
Okay.
Because it is much quicker. We can't do anything with your serial. If you get you the serial, it's quicker. Right. But if you're not willing to do that, there's nothing I can do,
as I said, you seem like a nice chap, but I don't know who you are, so I'd rather not give out...
Yeah, no, fair enough, right. Okay, well, when did you start your business there, sir?
We've been in there a little while.
Yeah, do you know roughly when you started?
Oh, I couldn't say off the top of my head.
You're not because that's how it is pretty crucial if we know that, sir. Right. It's easier to find your meter.
Okay.
Do you know roughly?
No, not really.
Right.
We've been doing so much stuff. It's been so much going on in our new shop and that.
Have you been there quite a while, yeah?
I'm not quite sure, a month or so maybe.
A month? Alright, so we'll just say started a month then. Do you have gas there as well?
Yeah, gas and electric, yeah.
Yeah. Right, so you started a month ago then, alright. Yeah, alright. And your name, Sorry, what was your name, sir? Alright, Mark. Do you have an alternative contact number I can ring you up? Oh wait, this is your mobile,
This is
isn't it?
my mobile, yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is your mobile. That should be fine then. Right, what we're going to do now is quick search and try and find your meter.
Right.
And then once we've got your meter, I'll get my manager to explain what your options are from there. He'll tell you what you are running on at the moment.
Okay.
He'll explain to you what your rates are for the moment and then what you can do from there, alright?
Right, okay.
Is it okay to just pop you on hold? Just
Yeah.
bear with me and we're going to find your meter for you, alright? Right, just bear with me, I do apologise for this.
Right. Thank you.
Let me get your details. I'll just pop you on hold.
Right.
Okay. Hello? You still there?
Hello, yeah? Yes.
Hi, sir. We just had your details back now. Your electricity is in contract and running, so that is on the business rates.
Right.
We've just got your details back from your gas. What I'll do now is I'll put my line manager on,
Okay.
Max, and he'll go through your options for you now. He'll tell you what rates you are on now. I'm just going to pass him over to you now, all right?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, just bear with me.
Hello.
Hello?
Hi there, good morning, sorry, good afternoon. Is that...
It is afternoon.
My name is Max, I'm the accounts manager. It's actually myself that's just been dealing with British Gas, getting all the business tariffs. Now, they're claiming that there's actually a contract in place on your electricity down there.
Right, okay.
Now, since you've been in that premises, do you actually remember signing or agreeing anything with the supplier? To actually agree a contract?
Not yet, no.
Right, how peculiar. Because I can't see any notes of that either. However, British Gas are claiming that there is a contract in place. Right, my main focus here is the gas at the premises.
Right, okay.
Now, have you got a pen to hand?
Yes.
Now, at the moment, you have a standing charge, which is currently at £1.26 a day.
£1.26.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
You have a daily unit price at the moment, which is currently at 12.44 pence per unit.
Right, okay.
Now, that's what you're running on at the moment because you've not agreed or signed a new contract, especially onto the gas thus far. Now, British Gas have confirmed if you was to go into a contract with themselves, they will bring your standing charge down to 38 pence per day.
Right.
And the unit tariff on their price, they will offer to yourself at 6.98 pence per unit.
0.98, okay.
They offer all their rates on a 5-year fixed-term contract, or as long as you are responsible for the premises. But if you did move out, relocate, or sell the business, the contract just cancels with no penalties to yourself down there, Mr. All right.
Right, okay.
Now, can I just ask you, what are you actually using the gas for down there?
The boiler, central heating and the hot water.
So it's just like heating hot water, is it?
Yeah.
Right, reason why I've asked that, I've only got it down as being a very, very minimal user, you see. Now, I have had a look for you in the area.
Right.
Now, you've actually got, as well, 3 suppliers which are coming back considerably cheaper than British Gas on their business rates.
Right, okay.
It's entirely up to yourself. I mean, do you want me to go through all 3 suppliers' prices down there, or do you just want me to go straight to the cheapest supplier? It's entirely up to yourself.
Well, the cheapest would obviously be the best for me, yeah.
Well, in my professional opinion, I would totally agree.
Okay.
Now, the cheapest by quite a large margin, you've actually got a commercial-only supplier.
Right.
They're called BES. They supply both gas and electricity.
Who's that, sorry?
BES Commercial Gas.
BES, okay, I've never heard of them.
Yeah. They're a commercial-only supplier. They only supply businesses.
Right, okay.
Now, they're actually, because they're your local area provider, they're actually the only supplier at the moment that is actually offering yourself a 0 standing charge.
All right. Yeah, it's quite a lot.
Which tells me one thing.
Yeah.
You only get billed for what you use.
Yes.
Okay. The unit price, most importantly though, is offered at a mere 5.24 pence per unit.
5.2. Right, okay.
Yep, 5.24 pence per unit.
Okay.
Again, that's on a 5-year fixed term contract.
5 years?
Don't be put up. Yep, they all are. British Gas was as well, sir.
What? Well, you're 5 years.
Don't be put.
It's 5
Don't
years.
be put off by the term, because if I'm going to be honest, you move out, if you relocate, if you want to sell the business, your contract just cancels with no penalties for yourself down there.
Oh, right.
So, all right.
5 years.
I was going to say, same with British Gas.
Right. Okay.
Same with BES.
Okay.
Your next option then is a company called Empower, and that's the same with them as well, but I'll go into more detail with them in a second.
Right, okay.
So back to BES, obviously they are actually the only supplier at the moment that will offer a zero standing charge on the gas.
Okay.
The only requirement, in order for them to obviously honour that zero standing charge, obviously the way you look at it, if you don't use any gas, your bills are going to be simply coming through at zero because you're not using any units.
Okay.
Now, if that is the case, obviously BES are not going to get a penny from you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So therefore, it would be pointless them supplying you. So what they do, they put on what's known as a minimum expectation for the gas usage, which is £250 per annum per year.
Right. Okay. So what's that about?
Would you expect to use that in a year anyway?
Yeah. What's that about? £20 a month?
It's about £5 a week, so yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Probably. Yeah.
It's about £5 a week, £20 per calendar month, there or thereabouts, give or take.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. It's like I say, I mean, that's what BES. Now, what I'm going to do, because at BES they do supply both gas and electricity.
Right.
What's always most cost effective is a dual fuel package.
Right. Okay.
Now, I'm just going to have a word with British Gas again now to find out how or why they're claiming it to be in a contract, and see if I can get something sorted for yourself there.
How long's the cooling off period on these things?
Commercial contracts, sir, there are no cooling off periods.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay. And what was your name again, sorry?
My name is Max.
Max. Okay, Max.
Yeah.
Who's your boss?
He's my boss.
Yeah. The boss of your company?
Oh, well, we're Meter Registrations Energy Search.
Yeah, so who's the boss, the owner of your company?
The director?
Yeah.
Can I just ask why, sir?
Just to make you aware, this call is being recorded and will be passed to the relevant bodies, including Mr William Lister, the solicitor. Everything you've just told me is a lie.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Can I ask as to why?
Because you've called my wife's business before, you've stitched us up before, and we're now in a contract with British Gas after being stitched up by BES, and you've just told exactly the same lies as before. We don't have to be in a 5-year contract.
Well, BES contract is offered on a 5-year term.
5-year contract is not the standard term across all things. I suggest you do not phone my wife again, and this call will be repassed to every relevant body.
Well, I asked you if you was in a...
Gotcha, you bastards.
Well, some incredible footage we have just heard. We should confirm that we have sent this recording to Ofgem and British Gas for them to conduct their own investigations into Energy Search. It is unarguable that there is clear mis-selling happening here, and the tactics of lies, bamboozlement and pressurization is shocking. Joining me in the studio is John. John, if the shop owner had entered the contract, he would have been surprised about many things that were left unexplained by Max. Perhaps you could enlighten us?
Good evening, Laura. Yes, there was plenty not explained by Max at Energy Search. Max did not explain, as per the BES terms and conditions, that had the shop owner not have reached the minimum spend of £250 per year, the shop would have been charged standing rates anyway. Max did not explain that BES only accept payment by direct debit. If you wanted to pay buybacks, card, cheque or other means, there are financial penalties involved, including a much higher default tariff. We also contacted British Gas, E.ON and EDF, who have said they do not offer 5-year contracts at all for commercial properties. All three of those companies offer commercial energy contracts in 1, 2 or 3-year tiers, so what Max said about British Gas was not true. British Gas also said they would offer our shop owner a 10-day cooling-off period, so the claim Max made about no cooling-off periods on commercial contracts is also false. Lastly, British Gas have confirmed the prices quoted by Max are entirely fabricated.
Wow, John, our shop owner would have got quite a shock. Those are some quite harsh terms in that contract. What have you found out about the way BES sell contracts?
Well, the plot appears to thicken, as BES do not actually have any form of sales department. They rely entirely on brokers to find their customers.
They have no sales department? Is it common for an energy supplier to have no sales department?
Correct, Laura. BES has no sales department. We have looked into 30 energy suppliers of all sizes, ranging from the big 6 to smaller independent suppliers. We could find no other energy supplier set up in this way. It is most irregular.
How strange. So who owns BES and who owns Energy Search? Presumably they are two separate companies. What did each of them have to say when we contacted them?
Well, Laura, the owner of BES is a Mr. Andrew Pilley, who is also the chairman of Fleetwood Town Football Club. Mr. Pilley has very publicly denied any mis-selling or claims he is involved with the sales forces of any brokers. The owner of Energy Search is a Mr. Mr Qualter, also known as Goulding. Nobody ever hears from him. We contacted both BES and Energy Search's offices with the recording and asked them to comment further. Energy Search did not reply. BES did reply requesting to know more about who we are, but failed to answer any of the specific questions we put to them. In fact, the mystery deepens somewhat with Energy Search.
I see. So Mr. Pilley and Mr. Qualter/Goulding's companies are separate. I presume BES have other brokers they use that do not adopt these sales tactics? What is this mystery? It sounds intriguing.
Well, Andy Pilley has always denied that himself or his company BES have any involvement with the running of energy brokers. Energy Search's website does not have any contact details apart from a 0844 telephone number and a contact form. The 0844 number goes straight to a voicemail. To contact Energy Search we chose 4 possible email addresses we thought may get through to Energy Search so we could send our questions to them. All 4 emails bounced back, but mysteriously, they bounced from a BES email address.
What? This seems very strange. If they are two separate companies, why would one company's emails bounce off another company's address?
I am afraid we do not know, as BES failed to answer our specific questions regarding this matter.
Okay, John, so maybe this is a one-off. Maybe Energy Search and Mr. Qualter/Goulding is just a bad egg? I guess Mr. Pilley keeps his distance from Mr. Qualter/Goulding if they are doing this to his company's reputation. What about the other brokers BES use? What do we know about them?
No, Laura, in fact quite the opposite. For around 5 years Mr. Qualter/Goulding has owned 2 other different companies in addition to Energy Search, Commercial Energy Limited and Commercial Reduction Services Limited. This would perhaps explain why Max was so cagey when asked who the director of the company was. Each of these companies have also been accused of mis-selling to BES in near identical ways, as we heard from the telephone recording earlier. Commercial Energy were part of a BBC Radio 5 Live podcast in 2012 which exposed mis-selling by staff claiming to be from meter registrations, using the scare tactic of emergency rates and fabricating rates from other suppliers to make BES more attractive. We also heard on the podcast that staff at Commercial Power considered Mr. Pilley to be their boss, claiming that Fleetwood Town, BES and broker Commercial Energy were all linked. Mr. Pilley declined to be interviewed by the BBC, but through his lawyers denied any control with brokers, any mis-selling or wrongdoing. In fact, Mr Pilley was so upset by the BBC podcast he complained to Ofcom, claiming he has been portrayed unfairly, and claiming that the BBC did not understand the energy market. Ofcom rejected the complaint in its entirety. A company's house check shows Mr Pilley and Mr Qualter/Goulding have previously owned a number of businesses together since 2004. Mr Pilley is not particularly subtle on his Twitter page either. There are many pictures of Mr Pilley with Mr Qualter/Goulding prominent in the picture.
It sounds from your investigations, John, that Mr Pilley and Mr Qualter/Goulding are very close both professionally and personally. If Mr Pilley is heavily involved with Energy Search, this would legitimately explain why emails to Energy Search redirect to BES. But what about the other brokers I asked about, and why does BES not have a sales department?
I am afraid it seems there are no other brokers, Laura. We contacted 3 of the largest utility brokers in the UK and none of them have said they broker contracts to BES. We looked at smaller brokers too, and could find nobody that uses BES as a supplier apart from Mr Qualter/Goulding's companies. Most irregular given that BES have no other methods of obtaining customers apart from through third-party brokerages. I do not know why BES have no sales department. They failed to answer this specific question, but if they did it would fall under Ofgem's strict license requirements, and Ofgem certainly would not tolerate sales practices like we have just heard.
I see. So what happens when a victim of mis-selling like this goes back to BES and says they have been mis-sold a contract? I presume BES will annul the contract and help them complain to Energy Search.
I am afraid not, Laura, or at least so our evidence shows. We have seen significant amounts of evidence showing when a customer does explain the circumstances of the selling, BES will deny any mis-selling has taken place, and will claim the contract remains in statute. In all these cases the customer is told to contact Energy Search or the broker that mis-sold the contract. BES come across as most unhelpful. In some cases, when the broker is not Energy Search, the broker seems to disappear without trace, and we have even seen evidence that BES have claimed not to have any contact details for certain brokers.
Interesting. What about Energy Search? I presume given Mr Pilley's close personal and professional relationship with Mr Qualter/Goulding, BES are able to easily provide contact details for them?
Wrong again, I am afraid, Laura. When Energy Search has been the broker, BES have not been able to provide a telephone number, nor email address, nor contact name at the company. The only details given are an address in London, which after some investigating I discovered has 20,000 registered limited companies there. This suggests it is a mail forwarding address. Mr Qualter/Goulding's other company, Commercial Reduction Services Limited, is registered at the same address, their website once again offering no more information than this address, and a contact form. Not even a telephone number. Most odd for an energy broker that must welcome new customers with open arms. From the accents of Glenn and Max and Mr Qualter/Goulding's previous companies, I think it is fair to say that the offices of Energy Search are likely to be in the north of England, but BES is yet to supply an address other than the London one. Not very helpful to the customer.
Well, that is most odd, John. You would think BES would know exactly where Mr Qualter/Goulding's companies trade from if Mr Pilley and Mr Qualter/Goulding are close. I understand BES are also under investigation by Ofgem, the regulator for the energy industry. Tell me more?
Indeed, Laura, but I am afraid once again the plot thickens. Mr Qualter/Goulding's previous company, Commercial Energy Limited, used to trade from an address in Darwin Court in Fleetwood, near Blackpool. This office coincidentally was next door to one of Mr Pilley's other companies, Commercial Power Limited. Yes, 2 companies with very similar names. Ofgem are looking into BES in consideration of whether BES are behaving in an honest, transparent and fair way to customers, and have been investigating since October last year. BES are also under investigation for billing issues and transfer blocking. We hoped we may see some results from Ofgem in June. However, the investigation has taken an interesting turn, as often are probing even further into BES and looking at whether they have been handling and recording complaints properly.
No wonder. It does not sound to me like BES are treating customers honestly or transparently if they cannot give the trading address for Energy Search when we know Mr. Pilley probably knows exactly where they trade from.
No, but BES are finalists for the second year running in the Treating Customers Fairly Awards, although they did not win last year.
I wonder if they will win this year. Are there many other complaints about BES?
Yes, Laura, there are. Across newspapers, social media, blogs, consumer forums and even Google, there are very large numbers of complaints indeed about BES, Energy Search, commercial reduction services and commercial energy. Nearly all the complaints are about mis-selling of contracts to BES, always via a broker that Mr Qualter / Goulding owns, but in some cases via brokers that do not appear to exist. I should remind viewers that of course this is the internet, and one should consider anything they read on the internet with an open mind.
This is all quite remarkable, John, but I am afraid we are running out of time. I am sure you have plenty more you could tell us too. I should reprise that Mr. Pilley so far to date has denied any mis-selling, wrongdoing or involvement with brokers. However, BES failed to answer any of our specific questions, and Energy Search did not respond at all. We spoke to British Gas, EDF and E.ON for comparable quotes to the shop, but we anticipate any reputable energy supplier will offer the same contract terms and cooling off periods. John, have you any final comments?
I think the take-home message from what we have heard today, Laura, is: firstly, there is no legal requirement to register your gas or electricity meter. It is substantially cheaper to arrange a formal contract with a supplier, but there is no obligation for you to do so. Neither is there any obligation or requirement for anyone to do so on your behalf, especially a cold caller. Secondly, all energy suppliers regard 5-year contracts as a very long time. We are aware that many suppliers see 3 years as a maximum period, but offer contracts as short as 1 year, and will offer cooling off periods. Thirdly, if you are being bombarded with cold calls such as this, particularly if they are putting pressure on you for information you do not wish to disclose, terminate the call immediately. It is almost certainly a scam of some kind. Lastly, be aware also of calls pushing BES telecoms for broadband and phone lines. We understand this is done in the same way as their energy contracts. That is all from me. Good night and stay scam-wise.
Thank you, John. That is all from me too. We have uploaded the BBC broadcast concerning commercial energy and BES from 3 years ago to reference with tonight's events. Please check out the Scamwise channel. Wherever you are, have a very good evening, and watch out, there is always a scam about.